Mic check 1 2, it's the Y2K collector, and I want to show you all of my pickups for the first half of 2024. Now, I'm not going to show them all to you in this one video. I'm going to break them up across 3 videos, this being the first of 3. Each video will break the games down into different sections based on price ranges. This first video, I'm going to show you all the games that I picked up that are valued at $20 and under. The next video, I'm going to show you games that range between $20 and about $70 in value. And then the last video, I'll save for the big finale. And in that video, I'm going to show you all of the holy grails or super rare games, or just games that were pretty expensive for no reason. Now, the cool thing about these videos and this quick video mini series, just to give you some information, these games were sourced in a number of ways. I did go to thrift stores, I did go to antique shops, I did a little bit of Mercari, I did a little bit of trading at local retro game stores. GameStop definitely played a huge role in some of these pickups, especially when it comes to the lower tier games. So in this video, you're going to see a lot of GameStop pickups. I'm not going to identify each GameStop game, but just know that about 60% to 65% of what's been picked up here came from GameStop. And that's not just, I guess that wouldn't just, apply to this video, but it probably apply to all videos. So I'm not going to spend too much time jabbering and blabbering, and I'm not going to talk too much about what each game is about or really dive into, the gameplay or anything like that. This is just to show you primarily what you can get for under $20 in 2024 when you're looking at this gaming market. A lot of people are saying that games are super expensive, and don't get me wrong, a lot of games are really expensive, but you can find a lot of quality for really cheap. And I want to say every game that you're about to see here has an average price of $11. When it comes to all of the games that I picked up in 2024, I was lucky and I did get to pick up some of these games in lots, as well as I did take advantage of a lot of promotions like buy 2 get 1 free, or 4 under 20 for 40, or 4 under 10 for 20, different things like that. So when you're building a collection, you definitely have to be creative and just find ways to maximize your dollar so that you can get the best bang for your buck. With that being said, let's go ahead and get it started. First game up, Ninja Gaiden on the NES, and I'm going to take you through all the NES games first. So Ninja Gaiden, Strider, Batman the video game, Double Dragon 3, Life Force, Bionic Commando, Blaster Master, Ikari Warriors, Ninja Gaiden 2, Friday the 13th, Double Dragon 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, Double Dragon, Mario Bros, and Ghosts and Goblins. So in this stack of NES games, it's just a solid bundle of action platformer games, side-scrolling games, a ton of beat-em-up games, and a few shoot-em-up games. The NES was definitely a console I collected for in the first half of 2024, and I'm not done yet. But if you're looking for a cheap place to build a really great stack of retro games, the NES is a great place to start. All right, let's keep this train moving. We're gonna get into some Super Nintendo now. First up, Super Star Wars, Super Mario All-Stars, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Definitely gives me Marvel vs. Capcom vibes, so just had to throw that in there. And Super Mario World. So I didn't have a ton of Super Nintendo pickups. Obviously, you're not gonna find like a lot of good Super Nintendo games for under 20 bucks, but those were all under 20 bucks, so some really solid pickups there. Next up, Spider-Man versus X-Men. So this is the only Sega Genesis game that I was able to pick up for under 20 bucks, and I was able to get this complete in box. This is not the most fun Spider-Man game. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that right now. But to be able to get this complete in box in almost perfect condition was a really great steal. And it is a decent game. I'm trying to collect all of the Spider-Man games that I can for all the systems that I own. So I needed to check this one off the list, and I was totally stoked to get this for 18 bucks. Really good pickup. All right, moving along, let's get into some Game Boy. So on the Game Boy Color, Rayman, Mortal Kombat 2 on the Game Boy, Power Rangers on the Game Boy, Castlevania Adventure on the Game Boy, and Fall of the Foot Clan on the Game Boy. So those are the Game Boy pickups. Not a ton of Game Boy games that I picked up here. I still do collect for the original Game Boy, but that's because the original Game Boy is the first system that I ever owned. One of the mistakes I made when I sold off a lot of my retro games a couple years ago is I did sell off a huge chunk of my Game Boy collection, and I do regret that. So adding that back to the collection now. All right, we're gonna get into some N64, and we really only have one game, but that is Cruisin' USA. So many Friday nights I spent playing this with my cousins. They lived in the next county, and I used to go over there on Friday nights every once in a while and play this along with Smash, Diddy Kong Racing, just a number of games. It's funny because when I would go to my cousin's house back in the day, the big thing was the Genesis. Like, we always played Genesis because that was like the one console that they had. And so I got so used to playing Genesis games that like I just wanted to play the Genesis all the time. But then when the N64 came out, they got the N64. So they didn't want to play the Genesis anymore. They were like, oh, come on, let's play, like, they wanted to play Donkey Kong. They wanted to play all the N64 games. But because I didn't really have systems like that, the only system I had was Game Boy, I would always ask them to go back and play Genesis as opposed to N64. And they would always tell me, like, dude, get over the Genesis. Like, we have N64 now. What's wrong with you? It's so funny. Like, it's so crazy. Even back then, I preferred, like, 2D games as a kid. It's crazy. All right. Keeping the train going, we're going to get into some more handheld stuff. So, on the DS, you have Thor. Thor is a really good game. You wouldn't think that this game is as good as it is, but this is actually a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up game. Really cool. So check this one out, Thor on the DS. And then Super Monkey Ball Touch and Roll. This game is difficult because it's really tough to keep, you know, the ball from rolling off the platform, and so it's like, it's a tough one. But it's fun, it's addicting. Check this one out. So two great games. Both of those came in, I think, under 10. So really good deal there. All right, let's get into some PlayStation 2 stuff. First up, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. A recent pickup, Bust-A-Move, Super Bust-A-Move, that is. PlayStation iToy. I had to get this because I actually have the iToy. Next up, Next up we have the Simpsons game. Now we're gonna trail off into some GameCube. The Hulk, X-Men Legends, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man, and these are all complete in box, by the way. Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects, and Fantastic Four. All right, now we're gonna move into the next generation. I think this is Gen 6 or Gen 7, I don't know. You guys can let me know down in the comments. But we're going to the Wii. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2. This is the only Wii game that I was able to find for under 20 bucks. Pretty good one though. All right, getting into the 360. We've got Viking, Battle for Asgard. Very good game, super underrated, cheap one. Sega makes some good games. Notice something here? Sega makes some really good stuff. Okay. Superman on the 360, not the most fun game, but good enough. Good enough. And Shadowrun on the 360. So that does it for the 360. All right. Now we're gonna end this off with some PS3 stuff here. So let's get into PS3. First up, we've got God of War collection, Castlevania 2, Lords of Shadows, God of War Origins collection, God of War Ascension, Transformers Dark of the Moon, Brutal Legend, Thor, God of Thunder, Sonic Unleashed, Dante's Inferno, Bayonetta, Devil May Cry HD collection. So all 3 Devil May Cry games that came out on the PS2 in one. Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Darksiders, still sealed too, Little Big Planet, Lightning Returns, Dark Souls, Infamous. I see why this game is so popular. For some reason, every time I play this game, it reminds me of Ready Player One. I don't know why. And last but not least, Uncharted, the dual pack. Really good deal here. Got this for $5. Not bad at all. So that does it for the games, right? So as you can see here, you got a whole bunch of games. All of these games average, I want to say these games averaged around $10 a piece when you average them out. Now granted, some games were higher on the closer to $20, but a few of these games came in at $4, $3, $2, $5. So when you average them all out, and you've got about 55 games here or so, they all wind up averaging out to being around $11, like $10 to $11. And this is just a good stack of quality games. I mean, across a wide range of systems that you can easily find. These aren't like exclusive. You don't have to hunt for these. You can easily find these online if you don't feel like going to a GameStop or looking in a store. But if you're wanting to just start a collection and you're thinking, okay, what can I find for $20 and under to build a decent retro collection, you've got a good sample size of some stuff here. Now, before I let you all go, I will show you some hardware, because I did also pick up some hardware for under $20. The first piece of hardware that I picked up was this pretty nifty N64 memory card. So I was glad to be able to find that. This is a GameStop pickup, so glad to get my hands on that. And then last but not least, found this sick, almost like brand new Wii controller. This is more like this is something that you would use for like a fighting game on the Wii or some like type of action game on the Wii. So this was like brand new at GameStop. So I was really glad to be able to find that as well. So that does it for me. Like I said, I've got 3 of these videos coming out. This was the 20 and under video. So these are all the games that were 20 and under that I picked up in 2024. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know if you were able to find some quality games for under $20. And when I say under 20, I mean these games are valued under 20. So it's not like these are $100 games but I bought them for 20. No, these are games that have a max value of $20 no matter where you look for them, eBay, Mercari, if you find them in GameStop, but they're still awesome games and they're easy to get their hands on. So let me know if you have any games that are valued at 20 and under that are just top tier games, you think they're awesome games. Let me know down in the comments, and be on the lookout for parts 2 and 3. In part 2, I'm going to be showing you all the games that range between 20 and around $70. There's a lot of good stuff in that middle section, a lot of really good games, especially the ones that hover around the $30 mark. So you'll see a lot of things in there that you might like. stay tuned. That's coming. It's the Y2K Collector. Hopefully you're having a great week. The weekend is right around the corner. I'll see you there. Take it easy.